Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is undoubtedly one of the top action-adventure works in history and one of the best games of the 8th generation. The performance of the title was so amazing that other similar works failed to even come close to the success of the title. Now today, in the form of this video, we will explore the causes of the success of this title and portraying an amazing and exciting adventure. Action-adventure titles, especially works that focus deeply on the concept of adventure, require a suitable platform for events to happen in the first place. Works such as Uncharted or Tomb Raider, as their name suggests, revolves around an adventure to find artifacts, ancient treasures, or magical old objects. So by default, they see the necessary context provided. But Neil Druckmann's big decision for the 4th version of Uncharted was to change the theme and inner core of the game. From El Dorado to the paths of the 3rd edition, Nathan Drake's adventures generally had a supernatural structure, but in the 4th version, neither know the coffin is cursed, not the magical lost city, but the game has a completely real structure. Druckmann's second decision, which is also debatable to date, was to finish and somehow retire Nathan Drake. The concept of quitting retirement or one last job can only be used once and will no longer be worth anything if reused. So certainly, the series is over with Nathan Drake as the main protagonist. Note that the series reboot rumors have nothing to do with this. Uncharted's 4th version, called The End of a Thief, is not about the greatest pirate treasure in history, Henry Avery's treasure, nor about revenge, excitement, and adrenaline. A Thief's End has only one concept, and that's family. In fact, tremendously, Neil Druckmann has written an adventure that, aside from fascinating scenes, memorable chases, and pleasant action, shows family as the main goal. Nathan Drake is no longer a stubborn adventurer, but a husband and a brother. Even if he is forced to lie and hide the truth. It can be said that his help for Sam, regardless of his efforts to save him, is a redemption order for him. He has been on adventures, travels, and events for many years, while his brother Sam was in prison. In fact, regardless of the lie Sam told Nathan, Nathan personally had the feeling that he owed Sam. Even at the end of the game, even though Sam leaves them alone again, Nathan can't get past him easily, even if it comes at the expense of risking his life. From the general context to pass, we get to write events and narrate the game, which is so fascinating and clever that the gameplay will get the opportunity to show off in the best possible way. From searches in Madagascar towers to the beautiful plains of Scotland, Neil Druckmann plays well with events and is encouraged to continue this amazing adventure without the audience getting a sense of deception. Another admirable point is the proper and sized use of old series characters like Sullivan and Elena. They are not 100% present during the game, but they are created so much in the course of logical and correct events that they make their impact in the same chapters that come with Nathan. The 4th version has an acceptable performance in terms of their accompanying personalities, impact, and depth of payment. As I said earlier, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is an adventure for redemption and family, and Nathan Drake, alongside his best friend, brother, and wife, makes it possible. Of course, in addition to these, we should not overlook the payment and attractive features of Rafe's character, which, in terms of credibility, can be said to be the best villain of the series. A wealthy young man whose jealousy, competition, and ambition to create heritage are his most important goals. He does not seek to destroy the world, get rich, or acquire a deadly weapon, but his only goal is to prove that he is not incompetent and that his success was not dependent on his family wealth. Let's not forget that his past with Nathan has added to the appeal of rivalry and hostility between the two. Nadine's character, on the other hand, has a sinusoidal demeaning, and although is clearly written with Neil Druckmann's specific thoughts, she's final decision to abandon Nathan Drake and Rafe does not make sense, and may be the only dark spot in the game's story. The most important feature of an action-adventure effect is its stage design, ambience, and overall and partial structure. Unlike most of the 8th generation works, which accepted and used the existence of role-playing elements, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End makes neither the use of role-playing elements nor really needs them. In fact, Uncharted has always been one of the series of games in which travel has been more important and attractive than the destination, and the 4th version is no exception. If we take a look at every single one of the game's chapters, we'll see a fantastic classroom. From the relative balance of fight sequences, platforming, and riddles, to the apparent and practical variety of the game stages. During Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, we see almost all possible activity. You do fascinating chases, driving sequences, semi-sandbox and large area, successive actions, various environments, secrecy sequences, and almost everything you can think of in this game. Of course, I have to say, the game has a bit of a problem with the number of sequences of conflict and confrontation, and the rhythm of the game is too slow, especially in the first third. But let's put aside these two flaws. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, almost at each stage offers a fantastic adventure. In fact, a great adventure consists of smaller adventures and events, similar to what we witnessed in the 4th edition. The design of the stages of the game has been so extraordinary that some of its stages are still quoted by different people. From the hidden plane and sight stage and that famous chase sequence, to the final few chapter who had an incredibly fast and engaging rhythm. Another admirable point is that the game, in its crowded, action-filled sequences of destruction, explosions, and bullets, deals with Nathan and his relatives' relationships and expands their relationships. Especially in the end chapters where Elena is accompanied by Nathan, amid the rain of bullets and explosions, fascinating dialogues occur between the two, such as talking about them when using an elevator in the better or worse. Fortunately, the game does not indulge in this section, and there are no numerous sequences and dialogues without purpose. In fact, this game feature is very appealing. We are not supposed to constantly witness different dialogues and interactions of characters, but in many moments, the things Nathan does with his other companions, from running away by car to attending auctions, somehow depict their relationships. In addition to these, the characters in the game and the events that occur try to remain in the Valley of Truth, and the game rarely enters the dimension of fantasy and the unreal. Fantasy means actions that may be far from logic and even force the story to use plot armor. Astonishingly, gunplay of the game, despite a 7-year life, still performs perfectly and is even better than many of today's works. Really, Naughty Dog is unique in this regard. It's interesting that if we look at motion animations, character physics, pitched battles, and platforming, we're still seeing the extraordinary quality that many of the current titles aspire to achieve. In fact, gameplay is where the creator's hassle appears in the storytelling and stage design section and offers an appropriate output to the audience. Now put this fascinating gameplay alongside the game's fantastic artistic graphics and enjoy the output. Actually, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End is the perfect package of the best things you can find in an action-adventure title. From fascinating stories, lovely characters, and proper narratives, to smooth gunplay and astonishing artistic graphics. A deeper review of the design of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End stages demands a separate video, but in this video, I briefly tried to explore the causes of the title's success and creating an amazing adventure. The 4th original version of the Uncharted series not only properly retired Nathan and led him to redemption, but he, in an exemplary way, narrated a profound, enjoyable, and eventful adventure from 0 to 100%, both while being faithful to the series' past and creating more to offer.